Brian, I'm granting all criticisms of Trump that you say are true. I'm granting it. Literally granting it.
Andrew, this isn't going to be much of a debate if you're not going to answer my question. So
I am answering your question. You don't have any standard from which to criticize anything I support. You have no standard to do this.
Why don't you respond to my question?
I am responding to your question. You have no standard. You have no standard from which to make a criticism. You have no ethical standards from which to make a criticism.
This is how you debate. You charge people $250. I didn't want this to go down this route because I want to have a respectful debate with you, Andrew, and I do appreciate you doing this. But I'd like to have a real debate with you.
This is a real debate.
Okay. So far,
I'm making you justify your position, Brian. That's what a real debate is.
I want to know, do you have a problem? It's a question I'm asking you, but you haven't answered any of my questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you have a problem with the leader of the free world, Donald Trump, attacking Gold Star families, saying he doesn't respect John McCain because he was captured? Let's just focus on John McCain for a moment. That one statement, which I think should have disqualified him as president to begin with. Are you okay with a man running for president attacking a POW, saying you don't respect him because he was captured? I tend to respect people that were captured, that weren't captured. Are you okay with that?
Well, when you say okay here, you're asking about an ethical claim. So you're asking, Andrew, do you think that this is moral or immoral when he does this? What we have not clarified is what moral or immoral is other than a Brian value judgment. So if you're just asking me, hang on. So if you're just asking me based on value judgments of preference, do you have any issues with X thing? Then I could just always say, no, you have no standard from which to criticize this. Do you understand that?
I do understand what you're doing here. I do. I'm asking you as a human being, which I'm pretty sure you are, how you are okay with, or maybe you're not willing to admit it. Are you okay with someone in power or somebody that is running for president that would attack somebody for being a POW for 5 years, regardless of what your opinions might be on John McCain?
Yeah. So let's say I have an issue. So let's say I have an issue with almost everything Trump has ever done or said out loud. From my ethical purview, what could be more important to a Christian ethicist than the topic of abortion? From our view, from our world, hang on, from our worldview, that is the most important issue. We actually think that you're killing human beings, right? Hang on, Brian. Listen, I'm going to answer your question. I'm answering it. You just have to listen, and then you'll understand. It wouldn't even matter if I had an issue with almost everything Trump has ever said out loud. That wouldn't even be an issue. If it is the case that you can name anything which would trump, from my worldview, 600,000 children getting murdered yearly, because from my worldview, that's what we believe. That's my ethical system believes that. What can you name, Brian, that Trump has done which is worse than killing 600,000 children per year, and why it would be that I should support an oppositional candidate if I only have two choices, which wants to expand that? Do you have one thing that you can name that would trump that or not?
Yeah, I'll get into that, but I just want to explain to the audience, because this is very disappointing, Andrew. You charge $250 to give advice to people on how to debate.
I don't give advice.
Okay, my question had absolutely, I'm happy to talk about abortion with you. I think it's a very fair conversation to have. My question had absolutely nothing to do.
I'm granting your whole argument.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second, Andrew. Andrew, hang on. Andrew, this isn't Piers Morgan. Hang on a second. Okay.
Go ahead.
My question had nothing to do with abortion. It was a statement that Donald Trump made. You can either say, I don't have a problem with it, or I do. Then we can talk about the abortion issue.
Brian, I'm granting all criticisms of Trump that you say are true. I'm granting it, literally granting it for the purpose of the argument. If that's the case, though, and you're saying that it's unethical for me to support his presidency, then you would need to give me a compelling reason past 600,000 aborted fetuses a year, which are human beings. You would have to actually, hang on, Brian, stop, Brian, listen. You would actually have to give me a compelling reason that is an overage of that to then make the claim that it would be unethical for me to support his presidency over the alternative. Can you name one of those things or not?
So, first of all, your definition of killing is very different than my definition of killing. your opinions on abortion are very different than
That's
my
why I was
opinions
trying to
on
clarify our ethical systems in the beginning. You remember that?
There are over 60% of people in this country that have been polled, Republicans and Democrats, that think that abortion should be legal across the board.
Yeah,
now,
but you're just appealing to the majority again.
I'm
Fallacy.
talking about me. My definition of a kill is different than your definition of a kill. For example, if a 13-year-old girl is raped and her family decide that they do not want to have that baby, I do not consider that abortion to be murder. Now, in most states in this country, abortion is legal. There are some states where it is not. There are a few states where abortion, no exceptions. My definition is different than yours. We can get back to the abortion issue, but going back to and by the way, if you want to talk about your definition of 600,000 kills, well, I could tell you this, Andrew, 20 million people are going to lose their health care coverage, Medicaid. Many of those people rely on that health care coverage because they cannot afford health care.
Are 600,000 of them going to die, Brian?
Let me finish, Andrew.
Okay, go ahead.
I can tell you that because of Donald Trump's failures during COVID, he is partially responsible for millions of people that died. He did not take the virus seriously. He turned his COVID press conferences into campaign rallies. He talked about injecting yourself with disinfectant. A lot of people died, Andrew. And I'm not saying every single person died of COVID because of Donald Trump, but I can tell you a lot of people did die because Donald Trump and many of his stupid supporters did not take the virus seriously. They still don't. I almost died from the virus. And as I was in the ICU for 2 weeks and I almost died of COVID, I had to listen to people on the right talk about how this was a hoax, that it was fake. It wasn't real.
This has nothing to do with any points that are being made, Brian.
It does, because you're talking about people that are being murdered. I would imagine the unborn. Again, my definition of a kill when it comes to abortion is very different than what your definition.
Okay, what is it?
Here's the difference between you and me.
What is the definition then of murder for you?
Especially when it comes to this issue.
Okay.
I don't tell people what to do. I don't want to tell people what to do. If you, Andrew, want to have 100 kids, I wouldn't recommend it, but you're welcome to have 100 kids. I'm not going to tell a woman that she cannot have an abortion. It is a fundamental difference. Now, late-term abortion.
Are you going to tell a serial killer that they can't be serial killers, Brian?
You are comparing, which is beyond asinine with all due respect, a serial killer going out there and killing people in society to abortion. My definition
we consider it murder. My ethical system considers it murder, Brian.
Okay, well, I don't care what your ethical system says.
Yeah, right, but we're having a debate on ethics, Brian. We're having a debate on ethics.
We're having a debate on why you support Donald Trump and I don't.